everybody, welcome back to Still Can't Cook. Today we are shooting our season finale. Holy shitballs. It's been a crazy fucking ride, and I am so grateful for you guys for staying with me through this journey. And it's really just been an incredible ride. I had no idea what this was going to look like when I started. I am really grateful that we got to where we got, and that I have consistent people texting and calling and saying such great things, and people showing up every week and watching and listening and subscribing and commenting. And it's a trip. It's been one really crazy trip. I knew there was something I was supposed to do, and I wasn't quite sure what it was for a long time. I don't believe in mistakes, and I don't think there was I don't think it's ever too late, which I think we've talked about at some points in the show, and I'm going to reiterate, I really don't think there's ever a time that it's that you're past your expiration point until you actually are. So, which would mean dead, which was my way of saying dead, or unalived, apparently. But yeah, I don't think that there's ever a point where you are finished. And I know I definitely wasn't finished, and there was something else I wanted to do, and it seemed that it was this. And it's been so much fun for me to kind of ride this wave with you guys. And through it, I've discovered so much about myself. I figured when this first came to fruition, and basically the story was I was doing something with a friend. It didn't turn out, it didn't work, and it is what it is. But I knew there was something about this podcasting thing that I really enjoyed. So I called my producer, who's now my producer, but my friend at the time, and I asked, what do you think? Do you think I could do this? Because she was able to hear the original show with other friends of mine, and she was like, absolutely, you could pull this off. And I talked about it in the first episode, so it's important that I talk about it again. I made a few phone calls, asked a few people what they thought about me doing this on my own, and across the board, I had nothing but support from my friends. Said friends were not writing the check that I was going to. I'm still holding my imaginary pearls that I had to write for this, but that's going to circle into what I want to talk about next. But for right now, just having Deanna, who I talk about, she's off camera a lot, my 4-year-old producer, having her say, yes, I think this is a great thing. She had just left a job, and she started her own thing, and was, I have to say, was wise enough to take me on. She was so smart to believe in me. No, but we kind of had this mutual vision of what this was going to be, and kind of how it was going to unfold. One thing, though, if you guys who pay attention have seen, is what we were doing in the beginning, which shifted, was I was doing a solo, then interview, a solo, then interview, which was super fun. But it seems that I wasn't really getting a lot of my own story across, is what the original concept was going to be. And although clearly we're going to have interviews, it's just the format's going to shift a little bit for the second season, where it's going to be a little bit more of my storytelling, which we've been doing the last few. And then, of course, amazing guests, my super fabulous friends, and people that I don't know, which is even more exciting. I have some people coming on who I don't know, and you'll get to know them with me. So yeah, it's been a really exciting ride. And to look back on, first of all, to look back on the first episode, and I look like I have on a wig, and it makes me crazy. My hair in that episode, I can't get over it. But the transition of my hair in every episode, I mean, I'm a mess in a lot of these, but it's all about the content, not about what I look like, right? But to go back and think about what it felt like to start this, and having absolutely no idea what the end result was going to be, and clearly we're not at the end result. Let me make that. This is the finale for the first season. I will be doing a second season. I'm going to sell a rib, whatever I have to do, but it's going to happen. I'm going to do a second season because I'm having too much fun not to. And that's going to pull me into what I wanted to talk about, which was betting on myself. When this first came up, it's a scary concept I've given money to so many charities and places, and knew that I was doing the right thing, and not as much as I spent on this. I'm not that generous. I'm not that philanthropic yet. I don't have it to write those checks. But I definitely, I've invested my money in things that weren't directly about me and my life, and to take the chance, and to, as my friend Tasha Smith said, take the chance to bet on myself. And I did. And it's been, it's scary at times. And I know no matter what you're doing, there's always a fear. I imagine that if you're doing things, I guess I'm an entrepreneur, which is bizarre. I recently had someone ask me what I do, and as I started saying the things I do, from this to the travel agency, I also have a model management company. I'm a mother agent. These are all entrepreneurial jobs. Like, who knew that? Imagine that. I have a new label at 53. I'm an entrepreneur, which is fucking crazy. Crazy. I was so safe carrying a tray. I was so safe. I went to work, same place, 24 years of my life, and I'm not someone who likes change. Same friends, same house, same job, same apartment I lived in for 24 years. I just, kind of shaking it up with this is really, I've learned so much. I've learned so much about myself. I've learned that I can. Look, there's been times when I was sick. I had one episode, particularly, I was very ill, and I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to show up. And showing up for me, for many days I wasn't feeling well, and I went to a job that wasn't mine. I was working for someone else. So to put the energy and all of that into yourself has been really rewarding. It feels really good. People, as it's progressed, I've had people recognize me, which is fucking crazy. I mean, not like masses. No one's running at me, running down the street after me yet. But people have quoted me. People have said, I met someone yesterday. I went to an event last night, and someone said, "Do I know you?" And I was like, "I don't know." And we know a lot of the same people. And it had turned out that one of my friends had turned them on to the show. And I was like, "I'm on Still Can't Cook. That's my show." She was like, "Oh my God, yeah, I saw it," and referred to a specific clip. But I think it's just grown, and it's crazy, and I'm so excited to know what's next. I don't know what's next. I know it's going to be you guys again, and hopefully more. And just continuing to talk about all the stuff that actually I talk about and that matters to me, and that gives my pet peeves, things that piss me off, things I love, and kind of figure it out with you guys along the way. It's been really exciting. I've made friends that I've had on and interviewed. I've learned so much about people that I thought I knew. It's incredible to think you know somebody as long as you know them, and find out just by sitting and interviewing them, like sensitive things you didn't know about, or things that I'm talking about Matthew Baton, who was one of my guests. I mean, just his life, and from Dean to Jesse to my best friend, doing the episode about my parents, the loss of my parents, and when is it okay to move on and feel like life settles into a new space after loss. It's been a really amazing ride for me, and I'm so grateful that you guys took it with me. Really unbelievable. Some people literally call me every Tuesday at 9 a.m. that they're like, 8 a.m. you dropped, 9 o'clock, this was great, fantastic. A lot of my family members. It's just been so exciting. I don't even know how to thank you guys. It's great, and I can't wait to do more. There are so many podcasters and so many people out there, and I know the menopause thing makes people uncomfortable, and I don't care. I don't care that people don't want to hear about my vagina. I don't want to. We've been hearing about dicks for years. 4 fucking years. It is ridiculous that I can't talk about menopause, or that I'm making someone uncomfortable. Many people in very close friends, family members, can't watch the show because they don't like what I'm talking about. I'll see you at the weddings and the funerals then. Don't watch the fucking show. But I'm funny, and it's important, and it's real. Nothing that I'm saying is made up. And I think a lot of people can relate to what I'm talking about. And if you can't, then you keep it moving. But I don't think that that's been the case. I think a lot of people are like, oh, did she just talk about, oh, I didn't know that. Elephant knees, man. It's a fucking real thing. Creping. That's why there's how many products for skin creping, but we don't talk about it. We're made, what I've realized through this and from people I meet and talking to groups of people, is that I think the general public is uncomfortable at us aging. And I'm a hypocrite because I do talk about surgery and wanting to fix things that I think I don't love about myself. And that is absolutely age related. And I don't want to age shame anybody. I make jokes about it. Sometimes I say things that might hurt someone's feelings. It's always for what's funny. And I apologize if I ever hurt a feeling when I say things sarcastically. But I am not comfortable in the aging of my face or my body. But it is what's happening. And the alternative, I do not want. I'm going to ride it out and be as crepey and wrinkly and fix what I can fix as I can, as I get the money to do so, because shit's not cheap. But I'm going to talk about it, and I think that it's important that we're comfortable with, cellulite. Skinny people get cellulite when they get older. That's weird. Did anyone talk about that? Cellulite was only on people that were heavy when I was younger. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was part of your body. Like, you put on this extra fat, which I talk about all the time, and I have gotten shit from people who are like, "You're not fat." And look, I'm not bananas. I know walking in a room, socially speaking, no, I'm definitely not. I think fat is a bad word. Overweight, right? See, I say some old shit that you're not supposed to say anymore. So I don't know anyway, overweight. I know I'm not overweight in reality to other people and the masses, but you have to keep up your own body to what makes you happy and what you're comfortable with. And there was points in my life where I wasn't comfortable in the weight I was getting to. So menopause, it is what it is. Women all deal with it. Some people have an easier ride. Some people have a harder time. Some people don't ever get the night sweat. Some people don't take replacements. My mother didn't take any replacements. And, that's all on you. But it is stuff that we go through. And it was stuff I was dealing with alone. And now I get to with my girlfriends, of course. But, it's a quiet little group of friends. And to get people now talking about it with me. And it is one of the things that people bring up right away. They talk about men. They make jokes about the hair loss or the hair growth, or, the lack of wanting to have sex, which, this is the low testosterone, which we already talked about. It's adjusted. I've leveled off. But yeah, I think it's something that we need to talk about, and finding it in yourself, finding something in you that you love, and really committing to it, to give yourself whatever it is. Like, this was something I really wanted to do. I didn't know it was going to turn out in this forum. I knew I wanted to tell stories. I thought I wanted to write. When I was very young, I wanted to act, which was never the gig that I wanted. Like I said, I worked, and I sat and was like, it wasn't my thing. And if you're not getting that, your juices flowing and your creative juices, I don't mean anything weird, I think that it's probably not the right thing for you. And this does that for me. I get I walk around with it in my head. I'm like, I got to write that down. Don't forget to talk about that. And, I don't have to talk about I don't have to write down my pet peeves because I have so fucking many of them that we could do a whole show on those. So in taking a chance on myself, I think it made me I'm more confident in rooms. I feel like I've accomplished something on my own that I'm very proud of. And I think everyone should give themselves that. And it doesn't matter what it is. Like, not everybody wants to be sitting in front of a camera and have their face blasted over YouTube. I do. And then I'll pick it apart. But not everybody wants that. But people, it's never too late to just do the thing that makes you happy. Like, what do you want to do? If money wasn't an issue, what would you want to do? What is the thing you want to do? And then if you can figure out what that is, if you have something pops in your head, then really figure out how you can scale money out of it. Because there's a lot of things that we think is going to cost this or going to take us away from that, or we don't have time for. But if you really sit and think on it and write down and make lists lists are so important. Writing down like what you want, how you're going to get it, what it looks like. And then some things are financially draining, which is, of course, you have to know what you can and can't do that way. But a lot of the things that I know from friends of mine or people I talk to or myself, things that really make you happy, they don't have to cost a lot of money. And you really need to do the things that you love. And that, I think a lot of us get to places where we get settled and think, oh, this is it. And I've had friends say, I thought there'd be more. There is more. It's just a decision away. It's one choice away. And I'm not crazy. I know there are some limits to everything. I have limits. We all have limits. But that doesn't mean you can't start. Start doing the things that you love. Start with the things that you can afford. There's so many things you can do to make yourself feel good and like inspire you to keep doing more of it. Everyone needs to find what it is they love. And I don't think it's ever too late, whatever it is for you. Friends who want to write, they keep diaries, whatever your thing is, if you're not giving yourself that, I think that it's you might want to just take a moment and see if there's a reason. And of course, fear is a good one. I was scared of everything. I've always been afraid. Nervous Nelly. I was afraid of everything. I'm scared of this. I'm afraid. I'm always like, oh, I look horrible. They're not gonna like me. I didn't like what I said. It's crazy. Of course. Then I watch it. We all are worst critics, I think. And it's really all I can say is for me. Doing this was a super smart thing, and it made life better, and I feel better, and I am happier day to day because I found something that I get to do that brings me joy, and that what I'm finding out from friends I run into, it brings them joy too. To be able to make someone else laugh or to make someone else think about something when A, I'm not a comic, B, I'm not a teacher, sometimes I think I'm a doctor on the show, I do all the things, but what is it? Jack of all trades, master of none. So it's never too late in pivoting your career and changing what you want to do. It's never too late in falling in love. It's never too late to find a new relationship. It's never too late to shift your friend group and to figure out things that weren't working for you. It's never too late to live your dreams. It is never too late to take a chance on yourself. It's never too late to be happy. It's so important. Until it's done, there's always options, right? That's when the curtain closes. We're not there, right? If you're breathing, you got the options to make some changes and do the things that you really enjoy doing. Having your own anything, I think, is just super important for everybody. If you're in a relationship, if you're single, it's so. Everybody I know that's super happy, people that have their own thing, whether it's parenting, and by the way, being a mom, being a dad, that's amazing. That's in itself a tremendous role. And if you really love what you're doing and you're raising children and you're seeing that they're making it and they're making choices that you're proud of, that's fucking huge. I can't imagine that, but that means you're doing the right thing. You're getting it done. It's like you get to say, I did that. I think we all need to have one of those I did that moments. And this is my I did that. And whatever yours is, find it. I know I'm not a guru here, and I wish I was Mel Robbins, but what I do know is that I inspire myself because I'm doing this. It inspires me, and hopefully it will inspire someone to do what they really want to do. Because so many things stop us, so many little fears, so many little moments, people not supporting it. When you live your life waiting for approval, which was something I did, I am a people pleaser. I always did for others, and that I felt very good about it. I got something from giving, for sure. But then I was lacking internally for what do I need? Who's giving me if I'm giving to everybody? I left myself depleted a lot. And I think, I'm not poor me. It is what it is. We all go through our stories, and this is just a part of mine. But I did figure out how to get through the other side of it, because I was like, this isn't working. I don't want to not feel good. I don't want to be exhausted. I don't want to be all the things that happen when you're pushing and pushing and pushing yourself into directions that you're not supposed to go just because it feels like it's the right thing to do or you don't know another way of doing. First thing to start is just to write down on your cell phone, on a piece of paper, whatever. It's pens and papers if you all still have that. I do, which is crazy. But you also used to make a jump around here, but on a big pen, there was a plastic pen, and you can make a pot pipe out of a big pen. You could burn the top of it and use a little tinfoil. Not that I ever smoked pot. I smoked so much pot. Now people eat pot. I don't understand the edible. I don't get the candy thing. I don't get it. I don't get the weird computer pot either, the thing that you plug in and you can smoke. Everyone's smoking these fucking things. It's a computer. What are you doing smoking a computer? What are those things called? Vapes? It's the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen. You're walking around. How are you putting something electric in your mouth? If you can plug it in, you shouldn't put it in your mouth. And I mean that across the board. There is a freedom in getting older. This is what no one tells you. You get to do what you want to do, and the only person you have to answer to is you. And if you're married, your spouse or whatever that's like. But for me, one of the greatest joys of getting older is the freedom of doing what I want to do and making the choices I want to make. And there's such an incredible joy in in getting to a space where you're comfortable in your skin, you're comfortable in your choices. If you fuck up, you clearly say you fuck up. I have no problem making mistakes. I make them all the time. Ask around. But I quickly will go, I just had a situation recently where I was angry at someone, and I was right to be angry. My delivery kind of sucked, but I was angry. And in fact, less than 24 hours, I said, hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for my delivery, but blah, blah, blah. And I don't think I would have done that earlier. With age comes entitlement. Like, I know what I'm right about, and I will stick to what I'm right about. I know I can be wrong sometimes. I know that it's super important that I found something that I believe in that brings me joy. And I think that it's imperative that everybody does that. And again, I don't know how big or small, there's nothing small. I don't know what your thing might be, but what an incredible time, especially after 50. We do all of that shit to get here. I mean, it's crazy. I do have to step back and kind of, I trip out. Like, I was looking through photos the other day, and really, man, holy shit, what a trip to get to the space. I mean, and again, I hope I have so much more ahead, you know? I mean, I'm 53. I could have, oh God, that's sad to count. Well, I know I have more behind me than I have ahead of me unless I go to 106, but maybe with today's day and age, and I'll do some NAD shots and get to 106. I think it's important that if you feel something's missing, you find the space to put something there. I don't know if that makes sense. I knew something was off for me. Something was off. Something was missing. I still do have a great life, great friends, great family. God bless, I'm healthy. People who I have lost were the proper way the world works, like in the chain of who should go. Grandmothers went before parents went before siblings. Knock on wood, I have all my brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews. And a lot of people can't say that. So when I say blessed, I mean blessed for the most important things, which is the people in my life. Things, I have a lot of things. I never really gave a shit about things. I acquire them. And I lose them, but I always have a replacement because I have a lot of things. But that's not important. It's never been. But to figure out what was missing for me, and it was this. It's so crazy because I think back at when I was a kid, it would have been writing, right? I wrote a lot. I wrote poetry. I wrote stories. I wrote short stories. I wrote stories about my life, stories about my friends. I think had this been an option when I was a kid, it would have probably been what I did much younger. I would have probably stuck myself on TikTok and done these social media things that I'm learning how to do now, which is so funny. Speaking of, again, being over 50, like doing TikTok stuff, I'm like, what? Do what? And it's crazy and it's scary. And I'm like, but I'm looking at these kids who are doing it. But like, why not do it at my age? Why not? We're the ones buying everything. We're paying for everything. People my age are grandparents, paying for not only their kids, but their kids' kids. So we should be fucking doing it all. We should be doing it all because we're paying for all of it. This really makes me happy. So I am very grateful. And I hope that everybody finds something that fills them up in the way that this fills me up. And that brings me to shit you deal with after 50. It's what this whole thing started on, is what it's like. And I'm here to tell you, it's a fucking trip. There's so many new things. So I just had a new thing today about what happens after 50. I have average size chest. It's kind of small, to be honest, it's small. One of the things that I noticed today, which is a lovely new after 50 thing, is I never had cleavage because they're small. But as you get older and you go through menopause, I guess your boobs get bigger, which I didn't really realize, but they do. They're maybe rounder, I guess. You guys can, that's what I'm talking about. I've heard people talk about it. It happened so gradually that I didn't realize mine did get bigger. And they did, where I have actually a cleavage thing that I never had. And so after 50, good news is, after 50, we small boobied ladies, is you get what kind of looks like cleavage. And I don't want to show you now because I don't want you all to stalk me and become sexually attracted to me in the masses and have you wait outside my house because now you see my cleavage. But I think that's a strange one, that you somehow, maybe it's back fat just coming towards the front, because that's another thing. Back fat. How about the back fat? Underarm bra fat. That is an after 50 thing. If you have it before 50, it's because you're a little chubby. But if you get it after 50, it's just an aging thing. It goes back to the crepery thing that no one wants to talk about. There's so much creping. What is the story? Why do I look like one of my blinds? I don't get it. I have the same texture as my kitchen curtain. I don't fucking understand. I got elbow creasing. I got knee creases. There's so much stuff. There's so much creping. There's neck creping. I think that my editors uncrepe my neck, and thank you guys, but it looks a lot. It looks a lot like a flowing curtain. Other thing that's really terrible is the aches and pains. What the fuck? I was in Pilates the other day and I did this weird thing with my knee, and I don't know, I think I broke it. I fixed it because I got him a doctor, but all of a sudden my knee was like, I'm too old for this. And then my whole body, because you got to freeze when you hurt yourself. I don't know what you guys do, but I have to stop still for a second and go, did I break anything? And then I took myself off the reformer and I stood and I looked at said knee and was like, are you going to be there for me later? I don't know what's going on. And I sat and my teacher came over and I was like, I'm 1,000 years old and I think I just broke something. But anyway, I moved it around, I kicked it out. And now it's better. So you can fix yourself quicker after 50 because things break and get healed real quick. You move it and things just get out of whack. You can knock shit out of whack very quickly after 50. Everything's different after 50. My fucking teeth are different. My teeth are moving. Does anyone tell you about that stuff, that your teeth shift? Because they do. Man, and the dating thing, right? So here I am dating after 50. You know what's gross? Kissing in a bar after 50. That's not good. No one needs to see that. Who needs to see geriatric making out? No one wants to see that. So then when you do hide in a dark corner and then when do you have sex after 50? How many dates? So I was talking to my producer today and I said, I'm going on second date. And I made a joking reference about sex because I'm not having it because I've never had it in my whole life. But she said, you can't have sex on your second date. And I'm like, I am definitely old enough to have sex on my second date. I'm old enough to have sex on my first date. I'm so old I could have sex before I even go on a date. I'm that old. That didn't make any sense, but it was funny. Dating after 50, sex after 50, what's that like? I don't know. My friends have told me that it hurts, which doesn't sound fun. And there's all kinds of stuff. So I use estrogen. Oh, fuck, I forgot to do it. I forgot to do my estrogen today. So anyway, I do an estrogen cream, which I'm going to do after the show. If I start growing a beard while we're shooting, it's a fucking estrogen. I forgot to put on my estrogen. That's why my brain is going crazy. That's why I can't remember anything. That's why I'm tired. I just gained 5 pounds. I'm sweaty. Oh my God, I forgot my estrogen. Anyway, people have told me when they've come to my apartment, I leave it out because I don't give a shit, next to the fridge where my old lady medicine list is. I've talked about that before too. So my list is there next to the fridge and all my old lady medicines are there, including the estrogen, which is a cream that I put on my leg. And I had a friend say, why do you have that out? Don't you have to don't you put that inside you? And I was like, do I do what? So apparently, another fun thing, that if you are menopausal and having some issues down there, they give you estrogen to put inside yourself. Now, friends of mine who've been to my apartment and questioned whether my vaginal cream is sitting next to my refrigerator, that would be a no. That would be a no. If I had a vaginal cream, it would be next to the vibrator, which is not near my refrigerator. If I had one, it might be in my bedroom or in my safe, if I had one. But I don't. Anyway, estrogen creams and where you put them, that's a whole other thing. Should you put them on your thighs or you should put it on your arms? Shooting myself with testosterone. The needle, I finally got the right testosterone needle. It took me 3 hours to get the testosterone out of the vial. So I told the doctor sends me the correct needle. It looks, the dental needles, those fucking things that go all the way through like this part of your face? That's how big the needle is. But these are the things you got to do to keep it normal, to even be regulated. To be regulated, I take like 35 pills a day. But what I really do want is in season 2, I need to have an expert come on and talk about this stuff. I know I'm not alone. Listen, Oprah has this thing now where she's talking to everybody who's having menopause or having a group of women come on and discuss menopause. Get me on Oprah, I'll come talk to you about it because I think we have a lot in common and you should be my best friend. But I definitely want to have an expert on to talk about this because it is always something new. There's something new every day. You retain weight in a way that you've never done. I used to be able to think about getting skinnier and I would get skinnier. Now I think about getting skinnier and I gain 2 pounds. And it's like this weird water weight. It's jiggly and weird. And now I have to do high protein. I don't want to do a high protein, low carb. I want sugar and alcohol and I want to do all the wrong things. I just want to eat McDonald's, drink like a fucking fish, and lose the weight like I used to before 50, but you can't because everything just slows down. Your brain, my brain slows down. I get so scattered. Look, I'm forgetting my story. I came in yesterday. That's a fact. I just forgot what I was going to say because I needed to get a scissor out of my scissor drawer, okay? I came in. I was getting ready. I was doing my hair. I came in. I put the air conditioner on in my kitchen because that makes sense. Went back into my bedroom, into my bathroom, getting ready in the bathroom. Again, I'm like, oh, no, shit. You know what I think I was supposed to do? I think I was supposed to plug in my phone. So I come back out. I plug in the phone. All the while, I'm sitting with the makeup I can't open, and I need the scissor for it. I came back in and out of my living room and my kitchen like 3 times before I was like, what the fuck am I actually doing out here? The scissor. And why, in fact, don't I have a scissor in my bathroom? Why do I have a scissor? I have scissors in my kitchen. What do you use them for? You use scissors for things like bathroom stuff, right? What the fuck do I need a scissor in my kitchen for? I don't know. So now the scissor is in my bathroom. I don't really know what you're slicing in. Oh, I guess people who cook. I don't know. What do you use this? Oh, to open package? No, I use knives. I don't know why I have scissors in here. Cut your hair with scissors. You cut open your makeup. Makeup always comes with plastic shit you can't ever open. I need scissors for that. I don't need scissors in my kitchen. What do you use scissors in a kitchen for? I put on my readers to dermaplane, which is shaving my face. And I was shocked. I've been doing it without my readers on, and I took my close-up mirror and put on my readers and sit here. They're totally naked, by the way. My neighbors must think I'm fucking banana. I wonder if they can see me. Old naked lady. Oh my God, I'm probably the old naked lady. Oh my God. I used to be the hot young girl. Now I'm like the old naked lady, shaving her fucking beard. I don't even care. I do it. I don't give a fuck. I'll do it again. But I did. I took the mirror and the razor and my glasses, and I did so it's like a quadruple timed my face. Don't do that. Who wants to see that? There's way more stuff happening than I have a vein I didn't know I had. It's terrible. But anyway, I needed to do it because I needed to dermaplane. And so I did, and I got it all off. But it was weird to see how much you miss when you don't dermaplane. I mean, when you don't use your, see, I just did it again, menopause. It's weird to see how much you miss when you don't wear your readers, when you can't see. And you can't just wing it anymore. Remember when you could tweeze your eyebrows and you didn't need glasses to do that, or the mirror? Now I need both. All that shit changes. Nearsighted, farsighted, blind, totally, can't hear shit, can't remember anything. But at the same point, it's the best time ever because I can pay for my own stuff, especially this podcast. So one of the greatest things is that, you can afford things, but when trying to afford this, to be honest, I really had to take a second. I did a really adult thing. Here's what I have to say. For me, changed after 50, along with all this other weird body stuff, is I am smarter. I am more aware and conscious of things I'm doing. One of those things is financially, right? So to be able to do certain things, this is one of them, the main thing. I had to kind of look at my finances and say, well, what am I going to do here? How am I going to figure this out and write this next check? And so I looked over all of my finances, and I was like, I'm going to have to rob from Peter to pay Paul. I need to move this here to do this, that. And the choice I was making was taking money that wasn't making any money, spending that money, or taking money out of money that was making money. And I was going to do that because my brain wants to see a certain amount of money in my savings account, which doesn't make any sense because the savings account isn't making me any money. So now I'm a banker too. I'm a banker now, and if anyone needs any advice on how to invest their money, they should all do it and invest it in me. But if you have money that's making you money, and you have money that's not making you money, and you need to spend money, take the money out of where it's not making you money. That's what I learned today o'clock about things you do after 50 is you make better choices with your finances, or at least I did this week, and probably will not tomorrow because I overspend anyway. So I'm going to contradict myself because I contradict myself a lot. Anyway, finances are fucking crazy. I'm so bad at that. That is something I'm really not good at. Figuring it out and understanding it. I don't really understand it. But I did make a very smart decision in not taking the money that was making me money. And I'm proud of myself. And I've literally sat and stared at it repeatedly. Do I want to do that? Am I going to? And I'm like, no, if your money's making money because it's on the market and it's up right now. We all know it's not doing so great across the board, but right now it's up. Leave it there. Don't take it out. Take out the money that's sitting there doing nothing. And that's what I did. I feel very grown up about that. And I'm proud of myself. And I put a star on my own refrigerator for myself for that because I don't have kids who don't have any report cards. I gave myself an A+ in finances, and I hung it up on my refrigerator right next to my old lady medicine list and my vaginal cream, which is not really vaginal cream. So what makes the most sense financially compared to what you want it to be or how you think it should look doesn't always work out. I was right. I made the right choice by investing in myself. I believe there is no wrong choice here, and whatever happens, I said from the beginning of this, what was really important to me is that someone told my story. And I think I say it in episode 1, I got to go back and look. But the fact of the matter is I've told my own story now, and there's nothing that can take that away from me. So that's super important, and I'm really proud of myself for doing that. So it's important that you figure out for yourself how you spend your money, but I did the right thing. Because I'm doing this and I open the world up to hear how I feel about things and share stuff that not everybody agrees I should be talking about, I'm getting a shit ton of kind of pullback and people who don't agree with what I'm talking about or think I should say less or not mention the word vagina or clit. People have a problem with the word clit. Sorry about that, people. It is, in fact, mine is normal. Anyway, people don't like the words I use. I curse too much. I talk about things other people don't want to talk about. I have family who are uncomfortable. I knew that was going to happen. Anything I'm talking about with sex, of course, my family's going to, the older family, brothers. Not that the older family are the brothers. I have aunts and uncles and also my brothers, ex-boyfriends, people who are uncomfortable about talking about sex. It's funny, the same people who are uncomfortable talking about sex are constantly looking for sex, but they just don't want to talk about it, which is fucking interesting. But they don't like me talking about it. They don't like a woman talking about it, and they certainly don't like a woman over 50 talking about it. I don't know what I'm supposed to talk about. Probably knitting would make people comfortable if I knew how to fucking knit. But yeah, I think it's funny when you open yourself up and you put yourself out there like this, you're going to get people's opinions that don't agree with you, and I'm totally fine with that. I'm up for good debate for sure, and I didn't realize how much this was going to bring up with people. I have friends. In the very beginning, in some of the first episodes, I talked about being the single friend and how that felt to be at people's parties. Couples being around married couples who weren't comfortable with my being in a bikini, or all of that has come back. People have asked, was that me you were talking about? I made a comment about somebody's kid playing sports and that it was getting in the way of our conversation, and that sits with people. It's like I said a while back, and I'm going to say it because it's true. If something I say resonates with you and you think it's you, it probably is. Or if you have one of the personality traits that I make fun of or talk about, and it rings true for you, I don't know, self-exam, figure that shit out. But I'm not going to change. I'm not going to stop talking about what I want to talk about as long as you guys are listening and having a good time with me. There is always going to be someone who doesn't like you. And in this, someone as insecure as I am, because God, man, I really am. As much as I put myself out there, I get real nervous as soon as I know what's coming out. Opening myself up to hearing people's criticisms, and it's going to come with, you can't please everybody. And if you're going to talk about me. If you didn't like me before, you're definitely not going to like me now. And that's fine, because again, I don't give a fuck. I'm just really happy to be able to share with the people who want to hear it and who want to talk about menopause and want to talk about being single and want to talk about not having children. All these are when this first started, I was scared. I was like, I don't know, am I going to piss people off? Clearly, I think I've made it very apparent that I have a deep respect for parents and for parenting in general and how hard a job that must be. And I don't take it lightly that my friends are parents. In fact, I'm very lucky that I'm not one, because I would be a psycho. But I don't take it lightly. I know it was not the right choice for me. The closest thing I have is my dog, and I love him endlessly, but he is a dog. So it's a much different commitment. I've never minimized that. I don't minimize marriage. I think it's an amazing thing to have a partner and to work through life together and to do all that. I don't have that. My road was different, and I know I'm not alone, and I like the fact that there are people out there who recognize themselves in some of the stuff I talk about, and that's been really fun for me. And people that I knew years ago, friends, people, and I say again, people that I knew that I never were friends with, people who were passing. I've become closer to people just talking about topics that they relate to, inboxing me on social media. And it's been amazing it opened up a whole world of comment. It's to have something in common is incredible. And I feel like that's what I'm hoping I do with you guys, or that you find in me, is that there's a commonality, because a lot of people don't do the things I've done. A lot of people take the road that, the marriage and the children and the job and the proms. I never went to a prom. I had a graduation at 8th grade, only graduation I ever went to. There's a lot of things, decisions that I've made. Some, again, school's the only regret I have, not going to school. But to find something common and to enjoy it and to take this ride with me and know that there are people, definitely people who I'm pissing off, and I'm hearing about that a lot. I don't care. As I tell you to your face, I don't care. But I do appreciate that there's something that you guys find familiar and common and that you can relate to my life and the choices that I made. And it's been fun. I mean, it's super fun. I'm so excited. I mean, there's no ending in this, but it's important with all the shows I've put out now, and this being this finale for season 1, is that in just recapping and looking back, like, I've got some really great support, and I've heard from people from everywhere, from old friends, people I knew and people I didn't know, names I've heard but I never spoke to, and we are like communicating on topics that are super important, which is, death, loss, being single, dating, loss of animals, which I just touched on briefly, but it's like people really resonated with people. So I'm just super happy that this is what I've decided to do, and I'm really, really appreciate you guys showing up for me. That being said, I am very, very gracious for you guys. I do these gratitude prayers every day, and I thank God and the universe and all things I'm supposed to thank because I don't remember who to thank. And I'm so, so grateful for you and for you tuning in and showing back up and commenting and asking questions and doing all the things I asked you to do. It's amazing. I have this entire, I have wonderful friends and family. I do talk about them a lot. But the one thing that's happened from the podcast is I have this incredible continue growing group of listeners and people who subscribe and have questions and comment, and it's just amazing that you're doing that and that you're out there and that I something I say resonates with you and that you're interested in coming back every week. It's so fantastic to see the comments, and please keep them coming. And if you have anything for my next season that you want me to talk about or have questions you want me to answer, any topics I didn't discuss or things you want to open up, I am so excited to do whatever you guys ask me to do. Anyway, it has been super incredible to get to know people via this, like questions about this, people referring to stories I tell or asking questions on the comment lines. It's really fun to hear from you guys and to have a new group of friends and people who relate to what I'm talking about. And I'm so, so grateful for that. And next season is going to be super fun. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. But I can't tell you how much it means to have done this with you guys and to see the comments and have new followers. And I mean, it gets me like, look, see it, it's happening. I'm crying. It's another thing that happens after 50. You cry over crazy stuff when you're talking to yourself looking at a phone. But I know I'm talking to you, my new friends. But really, thank you so much for tuning in and for coming back and for supporting me and for letting me just talk about whatever kind of crazy shit I want to talk about, and having a voice coming back and telling me how you feel about stuff. It's just been incredible to have a rapport with a whole new group of people that I would have never met if I didn't sit down in front of this thing. Thank you so much, and I'm super excited to see you in season 2. So come back. Thank you so much for being here. Bye. Jazz hands.
That's a wrap on season 1. Don't get up. I need you to say a couple more things.
What am I saying now?
Oh my God,
My head is so somewhere else.
Whose show is it?
My show? My motherfucking show? What? I don't know, some weirdos. Call the fucking... Call the authorities.
Let's go, Kelley!
Oh my God, that would be a great book title. My life is a blooper. Don't steal it. I got it here.
Steal it.
Don't steal it.
Who are you?
Fucking Kelley Fahey.
Exactly.
Hello, everybody. You guys are wearing matching outfits. Was that planned?
It wasn't.
Oh, my dog's ass might be in frame now. The fuck? I'm too old for this shit. I'm too old for this. I'm sweating and old right now. I'm too old to keep talking, but I'm going to keep doing it. Hey guys, thank you so much for showing up for another episode of Still Can't Cook. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to your podcasts, on YouTube or any other podcast provider. And if you're on Instagram or TikTok, please follow us at Still Can't Cook. Love to have you guys back every week. So happy that you joined us and look forward to seeing you next week.